Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today for the official book launch of Resilience is a Verb, which is my brand new best-selling book already on Amazon. So that's a great feather in my cap for ending this year in a really magical way. Uh, I wanted to write about resilience because I think we have all achieved a level of mastery at resilience because of the things that have happened to us around us, with our family and work and all sorts of other places. But I think sometimes we get a little bogged down in uh, what it means to be resilient. I mean, I looked in the dictionary meaning and it said to bounce back, and I'm going, oh, I don't know too many people that want to bounce anywhere, to be honest. So um, I look at resilience as a process of evolution, not as a process of bouncing. So for today's book launch, I wanted to take you through a 3-2-1 methodology that I've just learned about how to make things really cool, succinct, and how to allow that to flow. So, have I got any questions to start with? Are there any hands up anywhere? No, we will keep going. Hang on half a sec. Let me just change this over to uh why has it done that? I'll put us in a gallery view. There we go. That's all very good. So there we are. Um, so there are 3 steps to developing more resilience and finding your resilient raw. The first step is to check in with your values. What are the things that you value most? And whilst a lot of people might say things like family or friends or holidays or whatever else like that, they might be something that you value, but they actually give you something. Like if you say that family is a value of yours, perhaps it's the connection you get from family, or perhaps it's that sense of community that you get from doing things around and within your community with or without your family. But, maybe there's a work thing that's related to that. So when I talk about values, I created a formula, if you like, to work out what your values are, and the formula is here in the book, and I'll read it out to you. I call it the values equation, and it's the particular value. Say, for example, it might be connection as opposed to family. Family is something we value. Connection is what we get from that. So that's the actual, value. The meaning that we give it. So my meaning of family is different to yours because, some of you have family, some of you don't. I get that. But what does it mean to you? So you pick the word. So let's say it's family. Let's say connection is what you get from family. Then there's a feeling or an emotion attached to that. And then there's an action that we do that is also linked to that value word. And I always know that when I am acting in a certain way, that I know I'm in integrity with my values. My head, my heart, and my gut are in alignment. And I know that I am being true to who I am and what what I want my life to look like and feel like when we're in connection with our values. Step 2 is expectations. And funnily enough, VERB stands for values, expectations, resilience, abilities, and boundaries. So we've just done V, we're looking at the E now, expectations. Expectations are really like a job description, for example. Let's just say I have an expectation of you. So let's say I'm a keynote speaker, which I am. I have an expectation of my audience. They have an expectation of me. But then when I get off the stage, I have an expectation of myself. And that is where I probably need to be most resilient when I'm looking at that part of me, because we are quite often our own harshest critic. And I wrote this poem a few years ago uh, in response to something that was going on in my personal life. Let me just read it to you. Expectations. I expect you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. I expect you to love and cherish yourself. I expect you to take care of your health, wealth, and happiness. I expect you to work through life's difficulties as they raise and then let them go. I expect you to love yourself unconditionally. I expect you to take responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, and actions. I expect you to take some quiet time each day just for you. I expect you to keep in touch with the people you care about. I expect you to do things that make your heart sing regularly. And I expect all of these things for me too. I wrote that back in 2004 and I really love it. And I still think it's absolutely relevant today in all sorts of relationships. That was to do with a personal relationship, but it can also be said for work. Because if you are in a work situation, you need to still be looking after all of those different aspects of yourself. Thank you for the love, Vicky. I really think that it's important that we recognize when we're doing well and when we might need a leg up or a hand up or something, because that's when we can reach out and maybe our expectations of ourselves are not being met in that time and space. So I think we can be a little kinder to ourselves. We're all doing the best we can with the information that we have. When we're negotiating in a work situation, I think we need to pull ourselves back into who we are and what we know we're capable of doing, and certainly stretch ourselves. Absolutely. That's really important part of living and learning and growing and expanding and evolving, which is how I look at resilience, is a process of evolution. Does anybody have any comments or would like to say anything about that poem that I just read? No?
I just want to comment, Belinda, that I'd never thought of it that way, to put it actually in words and to honor what we need to do for ourselves and where we need to be. So I thought that was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you. It's on page 35 of the book. So I look forward to people copying and pasting that and putting it wherever they can see it so that they can, you know, remind themselves what the expectations are, because it's all very well having expectations of somebody, but unless we can actually articulate them, then people don't know. You know, we're signing a contract with somebody that we're signing a blank piece of paper because we don't know what that actually is. So anyway, that's the expectations part. And step 3 is to ring fence all of these things, our values and our expectations, with solid and strong boundaries. Because if we don't have solid boundaries around our values and expectations, we can sometimes fall into that pattern of being a doormat or of being a bit of a pushover. And I don't know about you, but I've been there and done that. And I don't know that I want to continue on that line. I'm pretty comfortable now with who I am and what I've achieved in my life. And I don't I don't need somebody to be pushing me either into a corner or into a space where I'm not happy to go or not comfortable to go. Boundaries allow us to stay true to who we actually are and to stay strong. And I think that they're a really important way of being able to navigate the resilience space. So, in my research for the book, and of course, a lot of the book comes from my personal experiences, but when I was researching a little bit more, I thought, is there really just one sort of resilience or are there two? And I asked the question, I pontificated over it for quite some time, and then I realized there are two. There are two types of resilience. There is what a lot of people do, which is we just get through, we're holding it together, where uh, it's unconscious and it's that bounce back thing. And that is situational resilience. That is reactive resilience. That is resilience in the moment when you haven't planned that you need to be resilient. Hey, Sarab, great to see you. Thanks for coming online.
Hello.
It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Um, so reactive resilience is that one that we haven't prepared for. We just know that stuff happens and we're not necessarily ready for it. But then the second type of resilience is what I talk about in the book, which is integrated resilience. It's evolutionary resilience. So it is preparing for resilience before you actually need it. It's intentional, it's adaptive, and it's cumulative. We have gone through life's ups and downs. We have really dug in and we know what we're capable of. And so there really is maybe only one type of resilience. And it happens either by default or by design. And when you look at resilience as a verb, you're creating resilience by design. So, one thing to do now, if you were to choose just one thing, what would it be? Let's have a bit of a discussion. What would be the one thing that you can do now to help yourself become more resilient, to be able to put your best foot forward in every situation, regardless of what was going on? What do you think that would look like for you? Who would like to have a go at saying something there?
Well, I'll just comment. I think having run a business for a long, long time and been through challenges, you have a choice about resilience. You either, okay, this happened, but fortunately, here's something that's beneficial from that. And so I think I've been practicing it for quite a while, but I think it's always really appropriate to be mindful of it and don't wallow in whatever has happened. Just have to carry on.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's it. That's it. That's very good, Kath. And that's a great observation. And you have been in business for quite some time, recently retired, and I love that for you. And of course, you don't, nobody lasts in business unless they have built their resilience muscles. So,
mm,
congratulations to you. It is a,
thank you.
a big journey. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Would anybody else like to say what resilience perhaps means to them?
Well, excuse me. I learnt last year, this year actually, this year has been a very big learning,
Mm.
just around energy. So if I don't have the energy, I don't cope very well, or start to get a little bit negative. So I learnt that I needed to slow down and not do so much. So it's really about saying no and being very, what's the word, protective of my
Mm.
time,
Which is a
because being,
boundary.
yeah, which is being burnt out
You,
doesn't
you,
help
you
me or anybody
sounds
else. Yeah.
like you've set a solid boundary around yourself and your
Oh no,
time.
it's a life work. It's a life work progress, right? Because I'm a yes person, and
Yeah.
I want to do everything. So I'm really trying very hard to say no. That's my
And
that's my going forward.
no is a full sentence.
Mm,
No is a full sentence, and it's okay to say no. It really is. And as far as preserving your energy goes, uh, that sentence of no will be a huge bonus to you going forward, Vicky. So well
yeah, oh,
done
yeah,
you for
yeah, yeah.
having the realization.
Yeah. Anyway, it does sneak up on you when you're like, oh my God, I've booked 5 things for this week. I know I shouldn't do that. It's a
It's
work in progress.
very good. Very good. So the one thing that I would urge for all of you is to adopt this decision, which is I will no longer leave my resilience to chance. This one practical decision leads to the next action, and that's what makes the difference. So I don't, I just feel like now is the time. I really feel like this book has come out at exactly the right time and the right space. I had a phone call from my mum on Christmas night, and she said, Belinda, I know you don't watch the news, and I don't, for obvious reasons. Maybe not so obvious, but it's always full of bad news, right? She said, I think you're onto something with this book. She said, your word, resilience, was used twice in the first 5 minutes of the news broadcast. And, you know, as far as being up to date with what's going on, and as far as being a catch cry word for now, perhaps it is, but I think resilience is going to go a long way to helping us all create a better world, not only for ourselves, but for those that we love and care about. So my quest obviously is to encourage you to buy a copy of the book. There is a link to Amazon in the chat there if you wanted to access that. It is available through Amazon. It is the paperback version of Resilience is a Verb, which I'm deliriously happy to be bringing to you all. And I'm just going to do a super run through the 3, 2, 1 that we've done today. And then I'm going to let you go and get on with the rest of your day. So thank you for sharing this time with me. Resilience is a Verb. Today has been the book launch of this fabulous book. It's taken me a little while, but I'm deliriously happy to bring it to you. The 3 steps involved in creating or developing more resilience in your world to help you find your resilient role. Step 1, check in with your values. Step 2, look at your expectations. And step 3, put solid boundaries around who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. The 2 types of resilience are reactive resilience and integrated or evolutionary resilience. This book is about the second type. It's intentional, it's adaptive, it's cumulative. It's where you prepare to be resilient before you need to be resilient. And the one thing I would love you to do now is to buy my book, have a read, do a 5-star review on Amazon, and that will absolutely make my day. And I hope it will make yours too. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for sharing this time.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks,
Belinda.
Belinda. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yay.
Belinda.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
and all the best for the book.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.